Welcome, folks, to Gordium, where we generate, evaluate, and execute on startup ideas. This is us cracking open the idea vault and putting ideas in. So you're going to get a peek behind the curtain really early on to some ideas we're excited about. So today we're talking about the problem of user manuals are boring but important.
No promises that this one
Will
not be
be
boring.
will be resolved. I know. Yeah. Trying to think of an instance where I've really gotten bitten by not reading a user manual. Um, Generally, I just ignore user manuals.
Until you need them.
Well, and then I've thrown it out by that point. Although
Yeah,
there's usually online versions, so I just throw them out. So
yeah.
that yeah, they're ignored until they are needed, and then they are often already thrown out or lost.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is really a question of efficiency of like how much you get out of a product. I feel like user manuals are a great way to really understand the capabilities of something. So I feel like the stakes here are like there's like two things going on. Like one, um, you have people not using all features of a product. And then I think you have people using products incorrectly. Like I feel like my car, I probably don't use correctly all the time in terms of maintenance and all that stuff.
Well,
Um,
yeah,
and then finally you have people, you probably have people throwing stuff out,
yeah.
throwing out broken but fixable items.
Or the user's manual.
Or that, well, that's already thrown out.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so this is actually a little bit more important of a problem than I'd previously anticipated. Um, yeah,
I think let's hop right to solutions.
yeah. So kind of on the left here, I have these programming zines by Julia Evans. These are kind of like a user manual for your computer. So there's this thing called Bash, which yeah, you don't need to know about. But the point is, like, the author explains how it all works in like fun comics. Like every Saturday morning, I get a comic from this person about how to like work my computer. And it's really boring stuff, but it's actually it's kind of fun, like
Yeah.
converting them into comic books makes it much more interesting.
Well, I think that, the here's more functionality. That's great in this, bite-sized comic, that's delivered to you on, it doesn't need to be sequential. Um, that's great. I
Yeah.
think similar to that, but things that need to happen sequentially. Some good examples are like the Lego instructions and
Oh,
the
yeah.
IKEA instructions, where it's very clear, step by step, no words, just like click this brick into the here. Um, yeah, so I think those are similar. Um,
Yeah,
to
like they've kind of solved that.
yeah, um, unfortunately, those are for things that don't really break, or you don't need to, you don't, if you have a Lego kit, you don't need to say, well, what happens if this piece breaks? That's outside the purview of what the kit says. And
Yeah.
that's not the case for, a car. Um,
They generally don't have to handle troubleshooting.
yeah. Um, what about having, AR? You just download the you know 2014 Chrysler 200 app, and then you have a different light up on your dashboard, and you just put it in front of it and it pulls up the relevant info.
Yeah. Or uses, yeah, like
Or yeah, I guess not really AR, but more computer vision.
that overlay. So then I also, well, what do you mean? Because I'm imagining like a QR code or something, but what
No,
are you
so
thinking of?
what I'm thinking is yesterday, my friend
Oh,
showed up at my house and his car, he had a light on that he didn't know what it meant. It wasn't just the normal check engine light. And he had his manual there, but then he flipped through it, and it took him 10 minutes to find it, because it's a couple hundred page document, and you're you don't know what this light's called, you just have a picture,
yep, yep.
right? And then it's not it, it it's not a manual is not a living document, whereas with an app, with CV, you could say, okay, I have this light on, um and for him it was the battery light, but it kicked on when he was driving. So it's like, okay,
That doesn't
it's
make any
probably
sense.
not the battery. So
Yeah.
you could say, okay, I have this, what is this? And it'd say, that's your electrical system. And then you could say, started while I was driving. And it's like, okay, you know check to make sure it's the battery, or make sure it's not the battery, because if it is, that's the easy solution. um but it's likely your alternator.
Yeah. So kind of, I'm thinking about these levers. So you have clarity, you have accuracy, which I really liked your point about the living document. Like
Hmm.
by moving it to, some external system, um, you
Yeah.
can ensure it's more up to date. And
Well, and then
yeah,
you can also, with those large documents, a car is complex. So you're already, making a 300 page booklet, and you're not really talking about troubleshooting. Whereas if it's, electronic, or, an app, you know, it doesn't matter if there's, 2,000, 20,000 pages of content, if, it can intelligently point you in the, if it has a search algorithm that's, clever enough to help you get to the right location.
yeah, no, I think that, yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense. And what might be interesting even is having like a slim tablet, like a Kindle essentially, like
Mhm.
ship a Kindle with auto updating and like that in itself,
Yeah.
like having your instructions on a Kindle, it means that you're running offline, so doesn't depend on internet, right?
Mhm.
But still able to get updates,
Sort of.
and then it's searchable
Yeah.
more so than your
And a manual.
than your manual. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then you could also, have it, um, connect, and, um, what is it? Connect with your OBD port. So then you could, plug it in, and, it's like a lights on the dashboard, and then it could, it knows what light it's giving, and then it could just shoot that out, and, direct you to the right area of your instruction manual.
Yeah, that's an interesting. What is an OBD port?
I believe it's OBD2. That's the port that when you take it in and they plug something into your car, and they say, oh, your, O2 sensor is broken. Um, yeah, so I think all cars post 95 have this OBD2 port. Um, yeah.
Huh, that's good to know. Sorry, my dog was very upset about something. Um,
I mean, this is a distressing problem.
he is very distressed about user manuals. He tries to read them and he just has no luck. It might be that he's illiterate, but
Yeah.
maybe he is literate. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, and then also another benefit of the electronic version, you think about it and it's like, okay, the Lego manuals are really long for a pretty simple process. And part of that is because the pictures, right? So imagine having the same, picture quality of Legos in a car manual. And
Oh,
you're then
yeah.
talking, it probably scales up by more, like an order of magnitude in length. So, then you're moving from a 100-page document to 1,000. And again, it doesn't matter if it's electronic.
Yeah.
I think another problem, or part of the problem, is are people who get in technical writing. uh we just need some better recruitment of technical writers.
Yeah, that's an interesting like supply side problem is like technical writing is like leveling up the field of technical writing as
Yeah,
a solution, just like attracting more talent there and giving more recognition. Like I didn't know it was a thing until I worked
yeah.
at a software company and they had a technical writer on staff.
No, my perception of technical writing is, it's these people who go to technical schools and then, realize that technical trades aren't for them. So then they just go to like one of the few non-technical,
Like
non-science
technical.
programs in a tech school.
Yeah, which I
And
think, yeah, I think it would be really cool if it were something people actively searched out more
yep,
often.
yep.
Yeah. What connections do you think we might have with this? I'm trying to.
Um, are there things on
Uh,
AR or CV?
AR. I guess my VR and AR thing. I think, oh, Legos are jumbled. I
Yeah,
think that's actually like a similar,
yeah, like that's what happens when, you know, you have a troubleshooting issue with Legos.
like that rely on CV solutions. I'm trying to think more generally about this problem. It's like a bread and butter type of thing that gets ignored. It's like good fundamentals.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what might I'm sure we have problems that are similar to this. I don't know if boring is. I think airlines are unclear about what you can bring is a similar like instructional problem.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't think I'm gonna quite get to what the root of this is. I think that would lead us to maybe I'll just do some random things. What else might be? Oh, I feel like the word important. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's probably all I can think of, unless you can think of anything else.
No.
All right, let's get to rating. I'm thinking through mine. I think I have mine.
Yeah.
All right, motivation.
0.
Agreed. I'd love to see someone else do this. It'd be
Yeah.
fun. Expertise.
0.
I feel like I end up writing a lot of documentation at my job, which is a lot of this type of stuff. Impact.
0.
I think it's a 1. I think good instructions could be really helpful.
Yeah, I think a 0.5 is acceptable.
I agree. So this is another not now.
Boom.
I think this one really I'm happy about. I'm not pissed like
Killing
the last one.
ideas left and right.
Just crushing them. Feel free to steal this one, folks who are passionate about user
I mean,
manuals.
yeah.
I guess they're free to steal any of them. And on that note, steal all of our ideas. We'll see you next week or tomorrow or whenever.